When we think about our digestive system, most of us just picture a simple tube, right? Food goes in one end, waste comes out the other. But what if I told you that hidden inside that system is a secret, a second brain, a brain that's making incredibly complex decisions every single second without you even knowing it? Well, let's follow a meal on its journey and uncover this amazing intelligence inside all of us.
So every single thing you eat, from a piece of fruit to a full-course dinner, it all embarks on this wild journey through what's called the alimentary tract. We're talking about a winding 30-foot-long pathway with all these specialized stops: the esophagus, the stomach, the intestines, and each part of this path is perfectly engineered for its specific job. But here's the thing: this journey is anything but random. It is meticulously managed by a hidden command center that's coordinating every single step. So come on, let's follow the food and see just how smart this system really is.
To really get it, you have to stop thinking of your gut as plumbing and start picturing it as this incredibly sophisticated, fully automated factory. And this factory has 5 core functions that keep the whole operation running like clockwork, making sure your body gets a constant supply of water, nutrients, and everything it needs. So what does this factory actually do? Well, it's got to move the food along the production line. It has to release just the right digestive juices at precisely the right moment. It needs to absorb all the good stuff, the nutrients, and then ship them out into the bloodstream. But the most important job, and what we're really going to focus on, is the master control system that oversees, well, all of it. All right, our journey starts right where you'd expect, in the mouth. But even these first simple-seeming steps of chewing and swallowing are way more complex and honestly way more powerful than you probably think. Let's just start with the raw power here. Your front teeth, the incisors, they cut. But your back teeth, your molars, they can grind with up to 200 pounds of force. That's enough power to crush the tough, indigestible cellulose walls in plants and vegetables. And all that grinding massively increases the food's surface area, which gives the digestive enzymes a much bigger target to attack. The craziest part? You're not even consciously doing it. Most of it is a completely automatic reflex. And then comes swallowing. It's not just a gulp, it's this perfectly coordinated, involuntary ballet that happens in less than 2 seconds. In a split second, your body seals off all the wrong pipes. It blocks the path to your nose, it slams the door in your windpipe, and at the exact same moment, it opens the hatch to your esophagus and pushes the food down with a powerful wave. It is an absolutely incredible piece of biological engineering. Next stop on our tour, the stomach. Now, this is not just some passive holding tank. It's a powerful, dynamic mixer, getting the food ready for the really important stuff ahead. So the stomach is basically a master multitasker with 3 big jobs. First, it has to store all the food you just ate, stretching out like a muscular bag. Second, it has to churn and mix that food with some seriously powerful gastric juices. And finally, and this is a really delicate task, it has to slowly release its contents into the small intestine at just the right speed for perfect digestion. This mixing is driven by these intense muscle contractions. But here's the really clever part. The exit door at the bottom of the stomach is tiny. So, as a big wave pushes the food down, most of it can't fit through and gets squeezed right back upstream. They call it retropulsion. Just imagine squeezing a tube of toothpaste with the cap barely open. That backward squishing action is what makes the stomach such an incredible blender. After all this churning and mixing with acid and enzymes, what you're left with isn't really food anymore. It's this murky, semi-liquid paste called chyme. And that is what the stomach slowly, carefully sends on to the next stage of the journey. And just to really appreciate the power of the stomach, look at this number. The acid it produces is so strong that the concentration of hydrogen ions can be up to 3 million times greater than what's in your blood. That creates an incredibly harsh, acidic environment, which is absolutely essential for breaking down food and killing off any nasty bacteria you might have swallowed. Okay, so who is conducting this whole orchestra of squeezing, mixing, and secreting? This brings us to the big reveal, the highly complex control room that's located right inside the walls of your gut. Tucked away inside the walls of your gut is its very own nervous system. It's called the enteric nervous system, or ENS, and it is huge. We're talking about more than 100 million neurons. Just let that sink in for a second. That's more neurons than you have in your entire spinal cord. It's so complex and so independent that scientists have nicknamed it our second brain.
Now, this second brain is organized into two main layers. Think of the outer layer, the myenteric plexus, as the factory's foreman, in charge of all movement, the muscle contractions, the churning, the pushing forward. Then there's the inner layer, the submucosal plexus. It's like the local quality control manager, handling secretions and blood flow right where they're needed. Together, these two run the whole show. Now, while this gut-brain can work all by itself, it still takes orders from headquarters, your main brain. The parasympathetic system is basically the go signal. It kicks digestion into high gear when you're relaxed. But the sympathetic system, that's the big red stop button. This is your fight or flight response. It can slam the brakes on digestion so hard that it literally stops food in its tracks. You ever feel that knot in your stomach when you're really stressed out? Yeah, that's your sympathetic system at work.
On top of all the neural wiring, there's a whole chemical messaging system using hormones. Think of them like little memos sent through your bloodstream. You eat some protein, gastrin sends out a memo. Hey, we need more acid down here. Fats show up in the intestine, CCK sends two memos. Stomach, you need to slow down, and gallbladder, release the bile. Too much acid, secretin sends an urgent message to neutralize it. And when you haven't eaten for a while, motilin triggers a housekeeping wave to sweep the whole system clean. It's brilliant.
Okay, so now that we know about the incredible control systems, let's follow our chyme as it finally leaves the stomach and enters the last crucial stages of its journey through the intestines.
The small intestine has two really clever moves. The first is called segmentation. Imagine a bunch of rings squeezing and relaxing all along the tube. The point isn't to push the food forward, but to just chop it and mix it over and over again with all those digestive juices. Then you have peristalsis. But here, it's a super gentle, slow push forward. We're talking maybe a centimeter a minute to give your body the absolute maximum time to absorb every last nutrient. And at last, we arrive at the large intestine. The main jobs here are pretty simple. Absorb the last bit of water and electrolytes, and then store what's left over. The movements get really, really sluggish. The colon uses these slow rolling contractions to just gently turn over the contents, making sure it can suck up as much water as possible. The real forward motion only happens a few times a day in these big, powerful system-wide events called mass movements. And this is where the gut's incredible intelligence just shines. So what triggers those big mass movements? You'd be surprised. It's often a signal from all the way back at the beginning, the stomach. When you eat your next meal and your stomach stretches, it sends a long-distance message, a reflex, all the way down to the colon that basically says, hey, get ready, make some room because new stuff is on the way. The system is literally talking to itself from one end to the other. So think about it, from the automatic power of your bite and the perfect ballet of a swallow, to the chemical memos that fine-tune your digestion and the 100 million neurons making decisions on their own. It is absolutely clear your gut is an independent, intelligent marvel. It senses, it analyzes, and it responds, all without a single conscious thought from you. Which really leaves you with a question, right? If all of this is happening in your gut, what other incredible intelligence is quietly running the show inside your body right now?